I've got two new Ozark Trail knives to show you today. Now, I went to Walmart and I finally found one of these orange ones. It took 2 years before the Walmarts in my area carried these knives. I think they actually carried them. One of the things that I suspect happens is that some of these newer high value knives, the employees kind of put them aside and they buy them up and they end up on eBay for sale. I'm 2 years late in reviewing this one. As you can see, this is the orange one with D2 steel. Now it does have liners and they are skeletonized. I think right there you might be able to see a couple of the holes in the liners. So they are skeletonized. Now the covers are really cheap plastic. These scales are not anything special. But since you have the stainless steel liners in there, it is quite strong and it doesn't squeeze together. On the other hand, a knife like the Benchmade Bug Out, just a gentle squeeze here and the liners actually come together. I don't own one. I've handled a few that other people have, and let's just say the knife doesn't inspire very much confidence. Where this one does, I can gladly carry this one, and I will be testing this one out in the future. This is the package it came in, so you can read the specs on it. This knife has been pretty well reviewed on YouTube over the last couple years. But I think here you can see China, and you should be able to see D2, and then Ozark Trail on this side. The second knife that I got just came out. It comes in a very basic box. Very plain, nothing fancy. And it just came wrapped in a plastic bag. This is the new knife with blue aluminum scales and a 14C 28N Tanto blade. That's an amazing blade steel to get for under $20, where this orange one is just under $10. Amazing values for knives. This orange knife is a great knife if you're in conditions where you may possibly lose a knife. For example, where I work, we do some whitewater rafting, and that is a prime opportunity to lose a knife. But you do want a knife just in case somebody gets tangled up in something out on the water. So that's a great knife to have for those types of situations. This one coming in at $20 could also be used for those same conditions. It's a good stainless steel, where D2 is a semi-stainless. It's probably not going to rust on you, not in a freshwater river, especially if you clean it off when you're done. But this one you wouldn't have to worry about, and it's still cheap enough. Just like with the other one, you have skeletonized liners, nice stainless steel liners, and I think you can see some of the cutouts inside there. I also made a modification to this pocket clip. It was really shiny, which made it look like artificial, almost like a high gloss plastic. So I took a Scotch-Brite pad and just made a few passes over it to scuff it up and break that high gloss and turn it into a matte finish. The clip to me kind of ruined the look of the knife. Now it's not bad at all. There you can see Ozark Trail. And on this side, 14C 28N. The knife has an access style lock that both closes and opens very nicely. You can manipulate the knife just with the access lock by itself. I guess most companies are actually calling it a crossbar lock, probably to prevent any issues with patents from Benchmade. Now this one features a Tanto blade, and you can see it's pretty dirty. I've used this knife a lot. It has cut a lot of things. Now, I do love a Tanto blade as an EDC knife. It has a lot of utility value for me, and it's just a pleasure to use. It just makes my day go by easier. The edge on this knife hasn't held up as good as I would have expected 14C 28N to hold up. I'm hoping that the blade is heat treated well. Now, one thing I will say is I was not impressed with the factory edge. The factory edge definitely was subpar. It was very rough. It was still fairly sharp, but a lot of times they're not that great. The factory sharpening wasn't that great. I wasn't happy with the edge. It did still slice paper nicely. I'm going to sharpen this knife up this weekend and put my own edge on it with a bevel that's a couple DPS lower than it is right now. So let's see where this knife is. You can see there it's ripping. If I saw a little back and forth, it'll still cut. The tip is better. The tip here is much better than the rest of the blade. So this definitely needs a new edge. We'll do that this weekend, carry it more and put it through its paces, and then I'll give you a report in a couple of weeks on how it holds up. If you're looking for a high value knife, either one of these will meet your needs. This one is a great knife. You could give this to a young adult as a first knife to learn on. This is definitely a step up, but $10 and $20. You can't go wrong with either one of these. Both use the access lock. They're approximately the same size. D2 versus 14C28N. Ultimately, I think D2 will hold an edge a little bit better, but 14C28N is going to be just about 100% stainless. It's going to be a really good performer, and I think it's the better knife of the two. This blue one is on bearings. I'm pretty sure this orange one is too, but don't hold that to me 100% for sure. Of these two, you can't beat the quality feel of this knife. This knife feels much higher quality than the orange one. This is the one I would recommend getting. And at $20, it's a bargain. Now this one, I couldn't buy in my local Walmart. I went there and they said the knife was not in stock. I went home, went to Walmart online, and I purchased the knife. It was shipped, and I had it in my hand the next day from the store that said they were not in stock. So again, I think that's another thing that's verifying my suspicion that some of the employees are wanting to put them aside and purchase them themselves at the end of the day so they can list them on eBay, or just to get them for themselves. So if you don't find one of these in your local store, try online. They have free shipping, and you can possibly get one like I did the next day. That's going to be it for this video. We'll see you next time.